headed. Anyway.
Uncensored Radio, Real Talk Roundtable. Real life, real laughs, real talk.
Ho, ho, ho. Ho, ho, ho. And Katie Underwood. Welcome to the Roundtable.
Why can't she be a hoe too?
No, she's special. Look at how special she is. She is the spirit of Christmas.
I know. I was not going to have Underwood outdo me, so I went to grab my Christmas hat, and look what I grabbed. This shit don't go on your head. It's a stocking. So I'm there like this, like...
You can put that somewhere else, maybe.
Well,
he thought it was a condom.
Festive with my lighted tree behind me, but
yes, Vera looks like she's about to release a press statement about how she didn't run someone over with a car or something.
Santa Claus would like you to know he meant no. He said.
So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, elves and elvettes, and everything in between. We are here to kind of just let the year relax and breathe, because this round table, we are talking about the big C word. Not the 4-letter one, the longer one that drives us all crazy at the end of the year. That is right, folks. We are talking about Christmas today. So, let's get real general to start with, okay? What are our feelings on Christmas? I'm going to start with the bottom row. Vera, tell us about Christmas.
I am a Christmas fucking hoe. I love Christmas. I decorate to the nine. Remember last year I did my little Christmas message, and I was accused of having Christmas explode in my house.
How many trees do you have this year, Vera?
I only have this one up, but the other one will be going up in the next week. And the little ones, trees. The little tabletops they're just...
So she believes in Christmas hardcore. Katie, I'm not even going to ask, really. How do you feel about Christmas?
Look, I enjoy Christmas. Lots of things happen for me around Christmas. I'm actually a Christmas baby, so my birthday is on December the 23rd. And this year I'm actually hosting my family for Christmas on my birthday, and we're doing Christmas. So we're going to have a Christmas birthday mashup. So Christmas lunch, and then birthday desserts, so birthday cakes and treats for desserts, and then whatevs after that. But with 2 kids in the house, it's all very exciting. We love putting up the tree together. We like putting out lights. We like wearing silly hats. My daughter's basically been wearing a Christmas hat to school every day since the last week of November. So she's incredibly committed.
She's about it.
She actually took it next level and started impersonating an elf on the shelf, you know, where they sit there and they look sideways, and it was really creepy. So I had to ask her to stop being a creepy little Christmas elf. But other than that, look, we just have a lot of fun. So, yeah, I enjoy this season.
Wonderful. What about you, Luke? You've between you and Jeff, you've got the youngest kids. What's Christmas like for you?
Well, this Christmas is kind of exciting because we're moving into a new house. And this is sort of the first Christmas that I thought, you know what, I'm going to go all out and, like, you know, decorate the whole house, have, like, stuff for the street to see as well. And I decided, I know people say you shouldn't do this, but I was like, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm getting my daughter a pet for Christmas. So she's getting a little puppy. So, and what we do for Christmas in our family is Santa leaves presents beside your bed and then presents from each other under the tree. So the puppy's just going to wake up in bed with her on Christmas morning.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well,
so I'm going to get that. I'll get that footage, kids.
Probably in bed with you, right?
Well, probably, yeah. If my child will ever leave my bed. Another show.
That's another show about co-sleeping that we need to talk about.
Codependence for daddy.
Mr. UCR, Jeffrey Emmett, the face says it all. How do you feel about Christmas?
Well, I went from like Clark Griswold to the Grinch, right? When your marriage ends a week before Christmas and you're you know, maybe there's somebody getting fucked on your couch that's not you. Christmas Eve, instead of putting trees up, you know, I mean, it tends to leave kind of a mark on you. So I like to keep it all about the kids, and they love doing their little dumb tree that I got at Walmart, you know, and they're very happy about it. So we're gonna put our Charlie Brown tree up. I tried getting them to let me get one of the real. It's not even a pine tree; it's a cedar tree, but it kind of looks like a pine tree. Right? I was like, "Oh, look, guys, we can have this tree," and they're like, "No."
No.
No, so we'll do the cookies and I like it to be special for them, but low key.
Oh, that's
not
lovely.
crazy.
You guys are giving me like a little bit of Christmas. I have none. I'm sorry. I have no. I have
come
no
on,
Christmas spirit.
Wait, this is
I
the
worked
puppy,
it-
Steve.
I've-
This is going to melt you. Come on.
Oh.
No.
Does it even
No.
just a droplet of
No,
that
because
ice
do you know
will
what? Do you know what I
No.
can? Do you know what I can hear?
Right. And fucking thing's gonna cry all night long and piss in your bed.
Exactly.
Can I tell you actually, Luke, I
Used to have
bought
an
my
ex-partner who did that.
children a pet also for Christmas, except we did it back in mid-October because it's so damn expensive. They got a lizard for Christmas. And I'm like,
Oh.
it's October 13. I'm spending $1,000 here. This is your Christmas present now. So just know that we're going
Listen, Katie.
to continue to enjoy it. I don't have a picture, but he doesn't whimper. He doesn't make a sound other than
My
when
pet.
he's crunching on his lunch, which
I was
is
just saying,
alive.
Christmas Day,
Yum,
Katie,
yum,
he'll
yum,
probably
yum,
let
yum.
you stick like a little red bow or something on him because they don't really fight back, do they?
Maybe. No, they don't. No, he let us, he's only 3 months old. He let us pat his little cheek while he was having a bath last night. We were so overcome with cuteness. It was really hard to handle. So yeah, we're hoping by Christmas we'll actually be able to just like take him out of his tank for a little bit. But yeah, as a low maintenance, no noise pet, I highly recommend a lizard.
so sugar. Yeah, my Christmas spirit, I think, died years ago and has been buried in an unmarked grave somewhere.
I feel you.
I've worked in hospitality, customer service, and retail for the last what?
Poor people
nearly
jobs.
20 years.
Ew.
Nearly 20
Well,
years.
I gotta
all of
tell
my
ya.
goodwill, all of my goodwill towards the mankind disappears. Usually around the beginning of November, when stuff starts to pop up in like the shops. I'm like, it's coming. It's coming.
Who
I can
shops in
smell it on
person
the air.
As soon as you
It's a
hear
pandemic.
that first belt from Mariah, you're like, oh shit.
No, babe.
Okay,
No.
listen.
It's
I will
Buble for
still-
us.
I will for
Oh,
the
you
rest
got
of
the
my
boobs.
life jam out to Mariah Carey.
You
All I
gotta
want
give
for
her
Christmas.
this. That one song, it's their
Like,
jam.
that
It's
one
what's
song.
keeping her
I made the
afloat.
kids Tyler. I swear to God, he's going to be a homo because he was the only one that would watch Mariah Carey's Christmas special on Apple TV with me last year. I was like, come on. He actually watched it 3 times. Like he watched it multiple times after me. He's like, she's so amazing.
He's a lamb. You turned him into a lamb, Jeffrey. No.
I'm not even one. Like I don't like her like
You
that.
could be watching her boobs bounce.
True.
Maybe.
There's
Could be.
hope. But yes,
A lot
no.
of things could be
But
amazing.
I'll share with you. So I work in retail, and Christmas comes around, and Michael Bublé crawls out of his cave as he does, and you know it's Christmas when you hear it's beginning to look. I'm like, no, it's happening. When Christmas albums come out and they are supported by major labels, here we go, Katie, this is for you. When they're supported by major labels, we have an agreement that they will play all day, every day.
Oh yeah.
So we had one Christmas, we had nothing but Michael Bublé all day, every day for a month.
Ooh, that's rough.
And then it was Rod Stewart and Michael
Oh
Bublé.
no.
Yeah,
Why?
That should
On
not,
purpose?
that should not be allowed.
No. So now I make sure that we always have a copy of Kelly Clarkson's Christmas album in the store at Christmas, because at least it's got some ones that are like, and it's not like I'm gonna murder myself.
You know the other one I like. So look, on the topic of Christmas carols. Thanks for asking.
Okay.
My favorite classic one that I grew up with as a kid was Bing Crosby and the Andrews Sisters. Does anyone remember that album? Like, to me, as soon as I hear that, it just takes me back, and I have to have that album playing at some point at Christmas. But the modern upgrade I got actually from my dad was Pentatonic's Christmas album,
great.
which I
Oh, I
thought
love
was
People
pretty
go
cool.
so crazy for Pentatonics.
I
They
thought
have
that
like
was really
6
cool.
Christmas albums.
So, well, who knows? But anyway, so I kind of shuffle
I
it up
do.
with Being in the Andrews Sisters, splashed with a bit of Pentatonics, and then who knows, maybe a bit of Bublé and Mariah. But I think you got to mix it up, you know, rather
Yeah,
than
you
being
gotta mix it up.
traumatized by the one
That's a
album
very
like you
good
have.
point.
Yeah.
Let's all go. All right, what is the song that makes you think of Christmas? For me, if you were just talking then, my brain went straight to the Chipmunks.
We had that. It was on vinyl. My
want
mother had all of them on the, what is it, the 33, right? It's the big one.
Yeah.
We had the Chipmunks Christmas. I think there was a Muppet one or something. Bing Crosby, Dean Martin. Yeah, I feel you.
We had a Disney one as well. It was great.
Yes.
I found the tape. We have the technology. We can play tapes again. So who knew? Anyway, so the reason why I wanted to talk about Christmas this year is I read a little study saying that 17% of people hate Christmas. Now, this is a British study, and it was of a certain age group. So it was probably like the elder millennial age group. So what's that now? Like
30s?
early 40s to like early 30s to 30. Yeah.
For this show.
For this, so Luke, Jeff, and I basically. I found it very interesting, and I thought we would use this show as a kind of survival guide to help people get through certain aspects of Christmas, because it can be a very challenging time. I know a lot of the emphasis is put on happiness and goodwill and peace, and everyone should be happy. But look, to bring it, like the rates of depression, suicide, all that kind of stuff go whoop, straight through the roof when the red hats start to come out. So we're going to try and give you a little bit of like a comedy relief segment and breathing section on how to cope with Christmas. Now, I've got a certain couple of topics for you guys. Yes, Katie Underwood.
I have a suggestion already.
Yes.
Because you get onslaught, for those of us who are able to shop in person, who are not super pandemic inundated at the moment, my suggestion would be this, and judged on my recent gym workout, if you're going into a retail shopping area, take your headphones, earpods, whatever you like, and blast your favorite music to drown out all the god-awful Christmas carols that you're going to be onslaughted with. So take your own music.
You're so ahead of me, because the first thing we're talking about is shopping.
Yeah.
Because
look at the chick on the right.
I miss like when Black Friday before it was a thing. Yes, bitches.
Keep discussing, Jeffrey.
Never.
I
Can't do it.
listen, like when Furbies were big, you know what I'm saying? Like my mom and I started going the day after Thanksgiving, getting up at the ass crack of dawn and it was so much fun as a kid to me.
Somebody's going to get trampled in that crowd.
I would. Well, then it's
like,
Can
I just ask, these people that are doing this, are they the same people that go to mosh pits at rock concerts? Because I feel very much like it's the same energy of adrenaline, danger, possible death.
Yep.
You know, it's
2
sort
down, 3 down.
Oh, she's trying to put her hair back on.
Honestly, what is the attraction?
Why would you want to put yourself and other people's lives at risk by behaving this way? It's just
there has to be more to it than just getting a bargain. I think it's the thrill of possible sudden death. There must be an adrenaline aspect to this.
I've never had an experience where it got violent or people were crazy. I mean, my aunt was nuts. She'd be like hopping on the pile. Josie, look what I got you one, you know. But that was the extent of like there was no trampling going on. It was very, very tame.
No,
but it's just like sometimes you see footage like that and go, I believe in evolution. That's primitive. That's
Only
very
just.
primitive. That's very primitive. It's like I love that woman was laying on down, like still wouldn't get up to get not like without the wig on. Like fear of getting trampled, but
I thought
you know,
she was like trying to get her phone to text somebody.
me
or
too,
something.
saying like a fraction of pelvis. No, I've got to get
It's
my
like
wig
she
back
ain't
on.
getting up without looking right before she starts.
So
hitting a
hang
bit.
on, wait. Just rewind to your word evolution because you've just sparked my inner biologist here.
Go.
If Charles Darwin is correct and survival of the species is based on natural selection, which is survival of the fittest, does that
these
mean
people
as
are
a
gonna-
society we are creating more aggressive, successful shoppers that are quite prepared to kill to get their prey, aka Furby or other trending
Toilet
toy,
paper?
at the expense of other human life, and that we're just going to get more vicious and more ruthless? Is that because the poor hapless grandma that fell on the floor or whoever, like they're not going to survive to the next generation? I don't know.
But
I think we've seen that with all the anti-vax protesting and stuff like that. People are just willing to throw themselves. I'll pedal back there for a second. Not everyone. There are people with justifications, but we see people getting violent for no apparent reason because they can.
They just need some My
it's
True
their
10
right.
gummies.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
shut up, Jeff.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
My
Alright,
True Dreaming.
so
My
let's
True
talk
Dreaming
about-
also have Tiki Tom.
Let's talk about the crazy. I think we lived in the time. It was just before. I think it was just before us, Luke. The biggest, and it is still the biggest selling kids' Christmas item of all time was the Cabbage Patch Dolls. I don't know if you guys have seen the Cabbage Patch Doll footage when people were trying to get like Cabbage Patch Dolls in the 80s. Like
Look,
elbows
I'm still
and
pissed
fists
over.
wide.
It wasn't My Little Pony. What was it? The chick that had the hair. It was like Goldilocks or something. Her hair grew
Rainbow
up.
Bride.
It was a toy in the 80s. My mother had she was like Santa called. My Lady Lovely Locks.
The one where you push the belly button and you could unwind her hair?
Yeah, something. And she just said Santa couldn't get it, and I was devastated. I wanted my lovely locks.
Kid, weren't you, Jeff?
Look, I know we were joking.
I got a Barbie
Lady Lovely Locks.
camper van. Yeah, I'd say so.
Surprised?
But we were laughing at that footage of all that crazy behavior. But I think Katie touched on something very serious there. Like, where are we going? Like, what kind of society are we creating here where people are willing to hurt each other over essentially junk? Something that's going to be worth probably not a lot in the next, like, once the phase is over.
In the name of a bargain.
Yeah, like it's not even food, you know?
No, it's not even to actually survive.
You know, if we were in a Great Depression and it was rations and that supermarket was a greengrocer's, then perhaps I could understand the desperate need to, you know, get there before your fellow man or woman or other. But
if they're going to do this over a Furby or a Cabbage Patch doll, what would they do if the stakes were that high?
TV.
Well, I think the sad thing,
toilet paper.
The sales aren't even that great. Like you can get this stuff all year long for these prices. Like, what the fuck are you?
Download eBay.
Like, what are you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like years ago, sure, there was actual good deals. Now. Everything that I looked at after Thanksgiving was like $3 off, $2 off, $5. I'm not getting up for nothing.
Right. No, I think the sales have gone to hell. But I also think that everybody's buying online. I mean, I did almost everything online, you know, for the last 4 or 5 years, even before the pandemic.
I buy local, like for my friends or businesses or whatever. Like I'll get gifts from them if I can get to them locally, or I'll order online.
I will do restaurant gift certificates, beautician gift certificates, you know, photographic gift certificates. But, you know, if I'm buying a book, I'm buying it online.
And you do notice that, speaking of someone who works in retail, that instant gratification culture of click it, put it in the basket, it's coming. People don't go, like, I'm like, oh, we're out of stock. Like, okay, cool. I can order you one. Oh, we'll just order it. I'm like, well, it's coming from overseas. It takes 6 weeks. 6 weeks! I'm like, yeah. That's what the postage is like these days, folks. Like it's December 1st, and you're expecting me to have everything you want, multiples of things that you want. If you if you're not organized, public service announcement. If it's Christmas Eve, you got to take what you can get. Please do not abuse people, retail staff who don't want to be there because you're unorganized.
Yeah, they teach that in kinder to my daughters. It was you get what you get and you don't get upset. I remember parroting that back to them.
Yes,
multiple
I
feel like that
times.
should
to
play
be a
through the
mantra.
loudspeakers.
Katie, your kids are older. Like what? So do you say like you have a budget, or what? What do you do?
As in a budget on what I spend on them?
Yeah.
No, look, my budget is relative depending on what sort of year I've had at work.
You and me both. Yeah.
You know, and a couple of years ago, well, in the first year of the pandemic here, you know, and I hadn't worked for half the year and money was really, really tight. And I just was straight up with the girls. I said, look, I just need to be straight with you. We'd killed Santa by that point, so they knew it was on me, right?
We're about to take that on. So
and I said,
going.
I need you to understand that I just can't afford to get you as much stuff as I would have in the past year. So, you know, there might be lots of little presents and we'll still make it fun. But, you know, I need you to just understand that Mummy can't just, you know, money doesn't grow on trees. I've got to work for it. And fortunately, you know, I mean, they're 10 now. They were 9 then. They got it. They get it. They're pretty respectful and understanding. So, you know, for me, if I have a good year at work, then, you know, a percentage of that I will lavish on them at Christmas because they're my kids and I love to spoil them.
Right.
But, you know, if I can't afford it, I'm not going to put myself in crippling debt to uphold some sort of facade. I'll just say, look, you know, this year's been a bit tough. So just, you know, be moderate with what you expect. There might be like, you know, 2 good presents instead of 5. And obviously this year they know that I've spent a sweet penny on their lizard. So, you know, they'll just be like 1 quality gift and then a few little shitty kind of funny gifts. And the main thing is we have a laugh and we have fun on the day. So I try and play that up. You know, Christmas is about getting together with our family and enjoying being people we love. And this year I'm letting them invite one of their school friends along. So they've got other kids to play with on the day. And, you know, I really want to just hammer that home that it's not about what you get. It's about the fun, and we're giving presents to other people and sharing, making memories. You know, that's what Christmas is to me. I'm not trying
the
to
reality is,
one of the things that my sister always did. Sorry.
No, Vera, go.
She always said Santa Claus brings socks and underwear. If you're getting an Xbox, it comes from Mommy and Daddy. You know?
Yeah.
Well, you bring it up. We're going to talk about the other S word because we need to talk about him. We need to talk about the man in the suit.
He looks like a bad Santa.
Can I just say I have never, and not that I'm against it for other people, but just as a personal choice because I think it's creepy as F, never made my children have a photo with a Santa that they do not know. The closest they've gotten is my dad, who is actually fat, in a red suit and a hat, and he was Santa for a couple of years and did a very good version of it because of his size. But other than that, yeah, I'm like...
Well, most of my child's life has been during a pandemic, so she's never actually been allowed to go near Santa due to, you know, that distancing rule. So it's worked out well, but I remember one Christmas, like, we had to stand there, I think it was 2 years ago, when COVID was just sort of becoming a thing. We had to stand there, and she was really quite frightened of him, and... I was like, we're not going to do this then. I'm like, we're just not going to do this. If she's not cool with it.
Don't talk to strangers. Don't take candy from them.
But go and sit on that fat, sweaty man's lap and
then take his
ask him
candy.
for stuff. No way.
We've spent our whole life in theater, so we've known lots of Santas. And my sister has always been adamant that she named her son Matthias. It is Matthias. It is not Matt. It's not Maddie. It's not. So Santa Claus was one of the members of our theater troupe, and he kept saying, Maddie, come here. Santa's got something special for you. And my sister's like, you don't have to go there if you don't want to. And Matthias looks up at his mother. He's like, why is Santa calling me Maddie? And she said, because Santa's an asshole.
Oh no.
So here's my question: You've all either had children or been around children, helped raise children. When do you think is the right time for them to transition from the man in the red suit to,
Me.
I know that a lot of times it gets taken out of our hands because of, they go to school. But what do you think? Luke, you want to go first?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'll come clean with her when it stops benefiting me. When I can stop saying, hey, if you don't eat your dinner tonight and stop smashing everything in the house, I'm going to ring Santa. And I'm going to tell him you're actually naughty and not nice. And she will fall into line. The day that stops working, I'll say, hey, Bubs, we got to have a chat.
I don't like it. I just feel like we're lying to them for what? Like, sure, when you're a little kid, it's all magical, but then it gets stolen from you, right? Like, it's kind of your first thing of losing your innocence. And I'm just kind of waiting for them to figure it out.
But
because
Jeff, come on. When we were kids, we thought of believe, but did we really?
I'd be like, look, yeah.
I was
are you
always,
kidding?
I had
saw
older
like
brothers,
a
but I was
blinking
like,
red light outside of my mother's bedroom window, and I was convinced. Like, no. And like these guys, I'm like, okay, what do you want? I'm like showing them the Amazon page. I'm like, is this it? Pick this. And then like all these packages are coming here, but they're going out to the garage instead of in the house. How is nobody figuring this out?
They don't
Plausible
want to know.
deniability.
They want to believe. That's the
Vera,
bit
you were saying?
X-Files.
My nephew figured it out when he was about 8 or 9, and he went to confirm it with my niece, and his cousin said to him, yeah, there's no such thing as Santa, but don't tell him or you're going to get socks and underwear for the rest of your life.
That kid's smart, Vera. That
Gabe
kid is
was
smart.
like naughty for like 2 different days, like not consecutively. And both nights he's in bed and he starts crying. He's like, Daddy, Santa's gonna give me coal.
But yeah, he is.
Oh no.
Poor Gabe.
You better start making up for it.
Coal's too expensive, kid.
Gabe.
Look, in answer to the question, when is the right time to bust the Santa bubble? My opinion is when they are ready.
Yeah,
So I have twin girls, and one of my daughters who's very quick thinking, no bullshit kind of kid. I think at 7 she had it figured, and she started asking me some very pressing questions, and poking around the loopholes, and I said to her, I said, look, you sure you really want me to tell you? I said, because once I tell you, I can't untell you. She goes, no, I just want to know the truth. I'm like, all right. Santa is a fun fantasy that we create to fall in line with all the Christmas movies, and we make it something special and magical for Christmas. But the truth is, of course, it's Nan and Pa and it's Mum and Dad, and that's who's buying the presents. She goes, I knew it. She goes, I'm going to tell Zoe. I said, you know what? Don't tell your sister. She's a true believer, and I don't want to take that away from her before it's ready. So for a full year, Charlotte held the secret. And it's one of those things that sort of feels corrupt. It's like, well, I shouldn't be encouraging my child to lie. But it was more about it makes Zoe happy at Christmas time to keep believing. So she believed for another year, and then Zoe got a bit sus. And then the year later, Zoe says to me, because I gave them iPads around that time, and she's like, I'm going to set my iPad up on time lapse and film Santa putting the presents under the tree. And I'm like, look, if you're ready to bust the Christmas bubble, I'll just tell you, you're not going to film anybody putting anything under the tree. And even, in fact, just the other night, she said she wanted to do it for this year. She goes, oh, I want to film you putting presents under the tree. I said, why would you want to do that? I said, you're trying to bust the bubble of some of your friends. I said, don't do that. If you've still got friends that believe, just let them keep believing. Don't send them some video showing your parent going, this is the truth. Sure, you know what the truth is, but everyone has to come to it in their own time.
Katie, your reindeer's killing Christmas as well at the moment.
So killing Christmas, don't you love it?
No, it's on your microphone, babe. It's on your microphone.
That was my favorite thing. Steve, why you got to be a party pooper? I don't care. I love that reindeer on the ear.
I remember being about 8 years, I think it was eight years old, and going, But it
Is that better?
a little bit. That's great. I love it.
Beautiful.
Very Lady Gaga Christmas. I love it.
It's not in my microphone anymore. It's very Christmas.
That's what he gets.
That can be your
go.
Christmas card for the year, Katie. Get a
Yeah.
screenshot of that.
Merry Christmas.
And a happy fucking New Year.
You can just sit
All right,
up there,
so
maybe.
we've talked about the S word. We need to talk about kids at Christmas because
Oh,
You know.
Disappointment.
disappointment. Now,
She got socks.
I think Christmas is a fantastic lesson in how to manage expectations for children
Mhm.
when they get old enough. But we all know those children that have. I think I was never one of them because I would not have probably lived to see my next Christmas. Do you think that, especially in the modern world where things are click and collect and turning up at your house, and there's really no reason for them to not get what they want if you do, like if you have the financial gain to do it, are we setting these kids up to not be able to manage their expectations if they go, "I want," and it shows up?
Wasn't that what parents have been doing for years?
Yeah.
Well, look, I don't know. I mean, I kind of disagree with the if you can afford to get everything, just get everything. Even if I did win, the lotto tomorrow and had $1 million in the bank and then some,
Right.
I would still like to think that I would put a limit on what I give my children, because the lesson that I want to give to them is, you know what, you can't have everything you want. You can give me a list and I can assure you're going to get some of what you want. You're going to be surprised by some things. And then there'll be other things that, you know what, you're going to save your own goddamn money for, and you're going to buy yourself with all the pocket money that you've earned through the year. So, I think for me, I want to have a balance of course, there's an aspect of spoiling at Christmas and nice surprises. But then alongside that is also, well, okay, so how much money have you saved up this year? And we'll go shopping together and you can spend your own hard-earned money and try and manage that with some financial management. Go, if you want everything that you want in the world, you've got to work for it, because that's what the real world is like. That's what we do. And not that I'm trying to put adult expectations on kids, but I don't think it's too early to start planting that seed that if you want stuff, you got to work for it.
And it's not healthy to just
world.
spoil kids. Like, you're completely right, Steve.
No.
It's not going to be positive for them because the expectations will always continue to grow. And you know what? Even people that are multimillionaires will never be able to meet those expectations when they become too stupid.
And
I think
you can't buy memories and emotion with money.
Right.
Like you see, like you've all got kids, or you've been around kids, or you were a child. You know those kids that get everything that they wanted, and they come and go, "Well, I got this, and I got this, and I got this, and I got this." And you're like, "Okay, cool, bro." But like, do your parents actually love you, or are they trying to make up for something?
See, that was a part of my problem with the whole Santa myth, though. Is the good kids were not the kids that were getting everything they wanted. The good kids were getting coloring books.
Well, I think
their
there's that
parents-
big push now, though, too. Like what you were saying earlier, Vera, is like Santa brings socks and undies. And, the big stuff
Sure
was
does,
not
and
from
boots.
Santa. It's from your parents. And because, otherwise you do have little kids that go to school and come home and go, "Oh, Mum, why did, Sally get an iPad and this and that? Like, am I a bad kid?" And I think that's not a nice message to give to any child.
No, it's not. And it's damaging to young children.
I mean, the whole thing's kind of like there were years where, things were great. And Joe and I would spend like over $5,000 on Christmas. And I'm like, this is insanity.
Oh, no.
Like
No.
insanity. Like my mother yearly, like that's her Christmas budget. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, when's the last time you've been on vacation?
Fork and spoon.
You know what I mean?
$5,000.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing was, is
Fall
we
off the
could, so we
bridge.
did it, right? It was fun. We got everybody we knew. We did shit. We went nuts. And then I'm like, okay, why are we doing this? We could be going on trips. I would rather take the kids on a trip for Christmas and make memories and not do gifts. And I asked them this year, I said, would you guys rather go to the beach or get, this is why I can't figure out how they can't figure this out yet, right? And would you rather go to the beach or get presents?
Well, they just like, why not both?
Well, no, 2 out of 3 wanted presents. Aiden was like, I want to go to the beach. Like,
It's very cute. But so as an adult now, what's your feeling on the giving and receiving of gifts? Because I think I'm a little bit controversial, and I've said this to my friends before, and they go like this: "Ooh, I would rather not receive something than get something totally bullshit random because someone felt like they had to get me something."
I
Yeah.
totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
And that's not being ungrateful. Like I don't think it's being ungrateful.
I don't
would
like people
rather
getting me
someone
gifts. If I want something, I'll buy it.
care about or
Yeah.
be invested in me and go, well, I know you love this and I want you to have that. I want you to have
Look,
that emotion. I don't
I'm
want you
feeling
to
very
just have
attacked right
this.
now because I'm one of those people that have bought shit presents for people.
Yeah, and I'm the type
And
of
I'm
friend
like,
that
I
would
know my
tell
brother
you,
doesn't want body wash, but he getting it this year.
I don't
Like-
want this garbage. Like, I'm offended. First of all, it's not my set. Second of all, fuck you. Like, I don't want this bullshit. No.
Well, I
So
don't
look,
feel as bad.
my approach to managing that is sort of somewhere in the middle. So, for instance, on the Christmas lunch that I'm hosting, so I've got my parents, my children, my best friend / emotional wife, and my sister-in-law. So I don't really believe that adults need presents at Christmas. Like Jeff said, if I want something through the year, I get it. Like I already have 3 boxes of unopened Lego that I've bought for myself for no goddamn reason, still sitting on the shelf. So I do not need any gifts. But we do a Secret Santa. So I'm like, okay, dollar limit, it's $40. Everyone gets one present, gives one present. That's it. That's enough. It's a bit of a hit or miss. Maybe you get something nice, maybe you get something shit. But it's more just that concept of, let's just open one thing. Oh, that's funny. That's crappy. Oh, wow, that's cool. And you move on. But the real joy is the lunching and the laughing and the stupid Christmas songs and the kids.
Can I add something to this? Because my family started it last year and it changed the game, right? So we only have one little person now, and it's my nephew's son. So like my mum's great grandchild now is the littlest person we have, and he's only like 2. His birthday's Christmas Day, so yay, lucky him. We do Secret Santa, but we also each person has a steal. So if you see something
I love this. The round
you
robin
can steal.
gift. Yes,
You go
I love that.
steal, and you have to trade the item that you have.
Oh.
Can you
So
see
you get
That's
emotions high then. People remember that.
Yeah, it's good.
No, I'm going to
gets
stand
high.
by the you get what you get and you don't get upset policy
No,
with
it's
our Secret
good.
Santa.
You end up with some random. It was here.
Yeah, and I don't know, but do you guys? I hate fucking buying gifts for other people because I'm like,
Oh, I love it.
what do you get? You know what I mean? Like I'm like
Body wash.
struggling over my aunt and Lidge. You know what I mean?
And
And they're
Damien,
like,
you're getting body wash again this year.
no,
No,
I'm
look,
not.
see, my directive, because I'm organising Secret Santa, was this. It's like, if you know the person that you've been given, if you know them well enough to buy them something you think they like, then do that. If you don't know what to get them, make it funny.
Yeah.
So I think Secret Santa should either be something that you want or just something that will make you giggle. So it
I
doesn't
try
have
to-
to be serious.
My
And
mum got
again,
shafted
it
last year.
emphasises that it's
That's great.
supposed to be fun. I'm not sure I'm up for the snatch and grab style. You've
Oh
got
no,
that with
it's
your
a lot
snatch
of
family,
and grab.
Steve.
It's just like a trade out.
Sounds a bit like Black Friday. I want that one.
It's so funny because we're like,
No.
I ended up with a lovely set of cocktail glasses, but my mum ended up with a pizza cutter in the shape of a bicycle and Die Hard, the children's book. For Christmas.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
amazing. She got
So,
other
Katie,
stuff. It's
quickly
all
on
right.
gifts, though, because you're a Christmas
Yes.
baby, you're born just before
Yes.
Christmas. Did
Yes,
you
I
ever
am.
get like consolidated gifts? You know,
Oh, that's
here's
Yes, I
everything
did.
together.
All the time.
How do
almost
you feel
every year
about that?
Until I was 18. Look, I've become quite desensitized to birthdays, basically. My birthday essentially doesn't really exist unless I make it exist. I used to get upset about that. As an adult, I've done therapy. We've worked through it. My favorite thing to do on my birthday, and it's kind of like a Christmas retail trauma rebellion. So on the 2 days before Christmas, when everyone's nuts, stressed, and super like under the pump about Christmas, I deliberately buy shit for myself and go and have a massage. So I will go out into that environment and go, I do not
You
give
watch the
an F
chaos and
about
lord above
Christmas
it.
today. Today is my day. I'm not going to make it hard for myself. I mean, I won't be doing that this year, but I'll usually like kind of just move. Every year my birthday gets moved around. So like I'm celebrating on the 17th this year because that's the Friday before Christmas. But look, as for presents, I mean, you know, I'm 45. I don't expect presents from anybody really for anything, birthday or Christmas. So, you know, this year is actually the first year that I've celebrated Christmas and my birthday together. So it's going to be really odd. It is weird though. Like, as Jeffrey said, I'd rather not get crappy presents. I do get a bit annoyed. Some people feel compelled to give me a shitty birthday gift on Christmas because it's so close. It's like, I did not need this box of chocolates. Oh, and another box of chocolates. Oh, and another, like, how much chocolate do they think I'm going to eat?
Right.
Honestly,
Oh,
it's
wait,
like,
welcome
just
to being,
raise your
welcome
glass
to being
and
a
say,
dance teacher.
Well, I'm
happy
always
birthday for the other day. Like, that's enough.
I'm
Again, I'm a
always-
big girl. If I want stuff, I'll buy it. I don't
right.
need other
I'm always
people to
freaked
be.
out. I'm like, give me something. Like, if you really feel the need, I'm like, you know what? How about you take the kids for an evening so I can have an evening? Like, that is a great gift. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My aunt, though, for my birthday, she did get me an ice maker, and I'm like, okay, that's a.
Like
I
my-
like
Vera?
practical shit.
My best friend, she knows I have this a certain online lingerie store that she knows I love. And she every year just gets me like a $50 voucher for this store. She's like, I know you love it. I know you spend it. Yeah.
Makes
And
you
that's
happy.
kind of fun. And I appreciate that from her because she knows I like to just get what I like. And as long
Vera,
as
you
I
have
send her a
something to
photo
say?
after, then she's all good.
Well, I was going to go to that family gift giving as the single person who hasn't procreated in my family. You know,
Yes.
I'm buying for my sister, my brother-in-law,
Nope.
my niece, my sister, my brother-in-law, my nephew, and I'm getting a
Nothing.
pair of slippers and a
Yep.
bathroom. You know,
Yeah.
so I just decided about 10 or 15 years ago, fuck this. You know, I will still give them gifts, but I pulled way back on the amount that I was spending on them. And for every gift I buy something for me. And that's
Well,
why I have this expensive.
As soon as
Christmas
everyone
tree.
in my family turns 18, that's it.
Well,
They're wiped.
Joe had like 12
Oh, yeah. I
nieces
think
and
that's
nephews.
universal law. I think once you turn 18, you're like in the adult realm then. You got to do Secret Santa with all the adults or just don't care or whatever.
Because
Yeah.
you end
No,
up
I
spending a
just buy
small
for
fortune,
myself.
Vera, don't you?
What?
You
What's
end
that?
up when you're the one without the kids and heaven forbid being
It
single
sucks.
without children and at Christmas.
Right.
Like you end up spending a small fortune and I'm fucking done. I spend so much money on other people and I get stuff and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Not that it's
back
not
in
that
the
it's
day,
you know
Well, and the
it's the idea
pressure
of giving,
of, like,
but you're
you
like, oh
have
my
to do
god,
it.
I've put so
You
much
know?
thought and time into this, and then it's like, okay. I'm gonna cry
yeah,
now.
I
but it's
just
okay.
I just stopped expecting it in return. And like I said, I pulled back on what I was spending on them.
Very
and just
Oprah
started
of us.
spending it on me.
When everybody else has kids, they don't ever buy you the gifts, but you're supposed to get all their fucking kids shit and them
Yeah.
something. Like, kiss my ass.
As Jeffrey,
think
Jeffrey says, fuck them kids, all right?
Can I just share like the weirdest Christmas gift that I've ever received?
I would love to
And
hear
it's
it.
funny.
I'm
It was
even
like
gonna
the Christmas.
zoom in on you.
It was the Christmas gift you receive without ever receiving it. So I think it's a wonderful idea now that some people will donate to a certain charity
Fuck
in lieu of a
that.
present. And, you know, this was like 5 years ago, and I legit, I think it was from a client or something, and they legit sent me this card where they basically bought a goat for some
for the
village
heifer
somewhere in
organization,
some other
yeah.
country for them, for me, for Christmas. And I didn't even know how to feel about that. I was like, I don't. It's not even rating in my emotional radar even to have any feeling at all about that.
Sponsored goat. Merry Christmas.
Okay, so
How about
that was weird.
Would you like a
Where's my
scar
goat,
for
bitch?
Christmas?
Yeah, no scarves.
Okay,
Yeah.
guys,
Sorry.
we're talking about it. We're going to talk about a big F word that upsets a lot of people at Christmas. We got to talk about family because
Do
for
we?
a lot of For a lot of folks, it is the
I think I
high
need a
stress
whole other
point.
show for that. Just saying.
It's a high stress point of Christmas. Now, in my family, especially the last couple of years, things have changed dramatically. Like I think when you are of a certain age and you do start to lose parents and grandparents and all that thing, your idea of Christmas and what it was shifted. Christmas was my dad's like time to shine. He was like, "Yep, make it rain, food, rent, blah 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 blah." So last year it was like very, very different because it was the first time without him here. But the idea of tradition, I want to talk about the idea of tradition and when do you let go of your traditions or change them to suit your new situation? Because that's where I'm at the moment. Obviously, you don't cancel Christmas. Like Christmas is still going to happen. The world keeps turning no matter what goes on in your life. But
become a Jehovah's Witness.
You could.
I am the product of a mentally ill mother, and Christmas was a very dysfunctional time for her. So a lot of our childhood memories really sucked. And we hit a certain age and we just decided to make our own traditions. And so on December 23rd, Katie Underwood's birthday, we started to have what we called the Christmas Eve party. And it also became known as Carbajal Christmas. And it was just all of our friends, all of the people we wanted in our life coming to our house. Jeff's been to one, to a Carbajal Christmas. I had to beg him. 2, okay. But yeah, I mean, and that was our tradition, the 23rd. We were all hungover on the 24th, and on the 25th, we ate a little ham and said bye.
I think I've always been very adaptable with Christmas because I moved away from my family fairly young. I lived in another city away from them. And I was also a shift worker as a nurse. So there would be a lot of Christmases where I didn't have plans because I was on shift. So year to year, it's just like it is what it is for me. And I don't have expectations going in. I think this is the first Christmas I'm actually looking at, I'm going to do all the Christmassy stuff. Because last year I didn't even put up my tree. And apparently I'm a bad parent for that, but I don't care.
I would always volunteer to work Christmas and get the time and a half because of double time, because I didn't have any kids and it didn't mean anything to me. We didn't really have a tradition. My tradition was on the 23rd and everybody was willing to give me the 23rd off. So I'd work Christmas when I first came out of nursing school.
I volunteer to do, I do it for the money, but I also go because my mum worked in hospitality for so many, like she used to work Christmas Day. So we would have Christmas like early. We still do it now. We have Christmas early, so it's not stressful on everyone and their kids and their other like extended family. We have that side of the family, like me, my brothers, and my sister, their kids. We have it. It's actually next weekend, so I'm going to be turned up. It's going to be amazing. It's just an excuse to get really drunk, actually. But I do it so like I know that my boss has family. I'm like, well, if it's literally Boxing Day, it's like 4 or 5 hours. I'll go to work. You spend time with your family. Like it's not going to bother me. I see my family. Like it's not an extra day of sitting around. I don't get it.
And I think Christmas is for kids too. Like really, when I was, in my 20s working away and whatever, I was actually happy to go to work because there's always something at work anyway for us. Like they'd feed us and whatever. And for me, it was fine. But my circumstances are a little bit different now. For the next few years, I want to have Christmas at home, and then I'm happy to go back to. It's not that important anymore.
Well, even when you were on the floor, I mean, a lot of patients who are in the hospital go home for Christmas Day for a couple hours. So it's not the hard
like
day
a little
to work.
Rest. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Katie, what do you do with the girls at Christmas time? With your situation?
Look, I mean, in response to the question around traditions, our tradition for almost all of my adult life was to gather together at either my mother's house or my sister's house. With our children, her children, or before we had that, husbands, whatever, partners. And in fact, we used to do that on every single holiday through the year, Father's Day, Mother's Day, Easter, you name it, we did it. And Christmas 2 years ago was the last Christmas we did that because it was particularly nasty Christmas. And a few months later, my sister and I had a falling out so bad that we've not recovered. And in fact, we both made the decision in our own weird way that the relationship was over. And to such a point that last Christmas, she specifically emailed me when she discovered I was making plans for Christmas without her, that I was not to send her children any more gifts and that she would not be sending any to mine. So it was very sad and it was the end of an era. But I guess for me, very much like getting used to moving my birthday around one day to the next, I'm familiar with the fact that it's not so much about a specific date as it is, let's choose a date that works for everyone and do the occasion. So last year I reached out to my parents and I said, look, I'm not going to compete with my sister and your attention for Christmas. Let's not make it a drama thing. Why don't you come to my place? I think we caught up on the 20th that year. And I'll have you for Christmas and we can have an early Christmas together. And this year it fell on the 23rd. So, for me, it's about making my own traditions. And like someone else mentioned, I've also invited my sister-in-law, who I wasn't going to be seeing because I'd lost touch with, her brother. But then I thought, well, hang on a minute. She's my family. I get along well with her. I don't have to wait, for that connector. So, she's coming and my best friend's coming. And now my two kids are inviting their best friends. It's like, letting go of this tradition that it's only family. And I've decided that our new tradition is on Christmas Day or whatever day it is that I'm celebrating Christmas. If I'm having people in my house, I want everybody in there to be people that I get along with. No one's there under obligation, but they're there because I want them there and they want to be there. I don't want anyone to be doing Christmas with me anymore under sufferance or under some sort of relationship fakery. I spent the first 43 years of my life doing that. I'm done.
Amen, sister.
I love this new tradition and it'll change and evolve. And my guest list for Christmas will probably, change a little bit each year depending on, who's around and who's available and who wants to be there.
Because you're choosing who you want to spend that time with and who.
Exactly. And part of the reason why my kids are inviting a friend is because they would normally have seen their cousins on Christmas Day. They don't get to do that anymore. On this particular day, they have other cousins on the other side of their family. But I thought, well, why should they miss out just because my sister and I have become dysfunctional? Let's keep that lovely Christmas spirit for them. If one people aren't available, let's sub in some others. It's about that good feeling on the day. So that's been my evolution of Christmas.
Jeffrey, you are not shy about talking about your familiar relationships. You posted on social media like the other day about not letting family ruin the idea of family for you.
It drives me nuts, right? It's always uncomfortable to me when somebody's like, oh, how's your mom? How's your dad doing? And I'm like, okay, do I lie and just say fine? But then usually there's more questions. Or do I just say, I don't know, And then like, no matter what, I feel like an asshole. And then usually if I say it on charge, they'll be like, oh, that's your mother. Yeah, well, you fucking call her and go deal with it. Because I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like this bitch, we spent my house rented out one Christmas. So we went to my Aunt Cindy's. And we stayed there for like the whole week. And she sent my father. And he dropped a bunch of gifts off on the front porch. Right? The kids didn't see it. And I'm like, fuck this. I'm furious. I'm taking the bag of shit and going putting it at the curb. My aunt's like, absolutely not. Bring it in here. So she drags the shit in. The kids open it. It's like, whatever, remote control cars, whatever. I had a little bag with a Hallmark ornament and a card for me. I opened the card, and there was a check in it for $100. And my aunt and everybody are looking at me, and I just start ripping it up. And they're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's $100. I'm like, she gave me a check because she wants to see if I'm going to cash it. Because that's how she works. I'm like, and even if it was cash, I would have sent it back. Like, I don't want, like, you're not in my life. You're not in my children's life. You made that choice, and I put the nail in the coffin. Like, you didn't want to be a grandma. You didn't want to have nothing to do with them. Bitch, we're done. Goodbye. Don't fucking call me. You're on your deathbed. Do not call me because I'm not coming. You know what I mean? Like, it's done. And every year, last year, she texted me, she tried to get the address down here so she could send them gifts from Five Below. And it's not about these kids. It's about her getting to tell everybody, I sent them gifts and Jeffrey doesn't talk to me. No, bitch. No. because I have a very,
Tell us
very
how you
hard
really
time with
feel,
it.
Jeffrey.
Yeah. Well, and
This
she's
is exactly why I wanted to do the show, because so many people
it's
feel the
frustrating.
need to stay in dysfunctional relationships, potentially
But then
damaging relationships
you're
to them
judged
mentally,
for
physically,
walking
because
away.
of the idea of Christmas.
I'm always getting shit from everybody. You got to talk to your mother. Oh my God. And I'm like, listen, when I'd hear the ambulance, I'd pray I'd go to her house. And everybody's like, that's so cruel. You don't mean that. And I'm like, yes, I do. Because you know what? As sad as it is to say, I feel like when she does die, that's the day that I'll finally feel free. Because she still texts me occasionally. She texts me on my birthday, 9:00 at night, happy birthday. You know what I mean? There's always little shit, or I'm hearing, just this, these little bullshit stories that the whole reason why I don't talk to her is because she wouldn't take my kids trick-or-treating. Bitch, I had mono and took the kids trick-or-treating. I didn't ask you to do it. Like, it's just petty bullshit. And it's like, I don't care if it's Christmas. I don't care what it is. This relationship's over.
I think this is the difference. This is the change now in our generation, is that prior generations, in fact, when I fell out with my sister and that subsequent Christmas, when I told people my plans, and a few close family members who I love and respect and have the greatest love and respect for me tried to convince me.
That's your sister. How could you not talk to your sister? She's going to die and you're going to be sad.
All that stuff. And they said, it's Christmas, you need to make the effort. And I said, no, I don't. I said, I've made the effort for the last 43 years. It hasn't worked. It's gotten worse. I'm done making the effort. I need to just live my life now and spend time with people who love and respect me, who I love and respect. And if some of those are my family members, so be it. And if some of them are not, then so be it. And I think this notion that we need to keep re-traumatizing ourselves with dysfunctional relationships in our family. No, we don't. We're allowed to have a healthy boundary and go, I don't give a fuck what time of year it is. If there's an Easter bunny hat on or a Christmas hat, if this relationship is damaging, I'm not just talking about like awkward, Uncle Ronnie gets too drunk and so falls over. That's just, that's the stuff we can tolerate. But when you're talking about real passive aggressive, nasty, out and out fighting, no, I don't need to have that in my life anymore. And I've done enough therapy to figure that out. And
I don't need fucking enemies when I have family like I do. Yeah, like I'm not, fuck that.
No, that's right. And, especially because we have children as well, I'm really mindful that my kids are old enough now to pick up on those sorts of subtle or not so subtle dynamics. And I don't want to traumatize them by thinking, every Christmas we get together and somebody has a fight.
Yeah,
that's not.
You don't want to be the one that
has to feel bad because it's Christmas.
No, that's right. And half the time it would be me, and or someone else or a combination. I don't want to put myself in a situation where I'm so triggered that I lose my shit on a day that I want to enjoy.
Last year it was me. I went.
You were fucking right.
And I was probably I'll blame myself 50% of that. But I remember like a few days later, because my brothers were quite entertained by it, because it turns out I've got quite an acid tongue when I let loose. And my brother's like,
you ain't being rude.
He's like, you may have fucked everyone's Christmas, he said, but you made mine.
Bless. That's nice.
So, guys, I think in wrapping up, we can all agree Christmas can be utter madness and carnage and craziness, just due to expectation.
Why is that Christmas picture, that Christmas fight, got a Valentine on the coffee table?
I don't know. I just maybe they just can't let go of a dead love or something like that. Very Christmassy, very Christmassy. But I think, especially as Katie said, I think that these later generations, we're taking back Christmas. We are taking back our lives and going, okay, tradition is tradition, but there's no reason why tradition can't change and be healthy and be fruitful and show the younger generation that you are raising that you don't have to do things just because it's expected. This time of the year, no matter what your religious belief, etc., should be about love and who you love and showing them that relationship. So I love you guys. I think this has been very entertaining. I love
you guys
like
too.
sitting back and hearing you guys like like talk and stuff like that. So thank you for joining us. I hope all of you have a Merry Christmas. I know you will, and we hope everyone out there has a Merry Christmas.
Bah humbug.
we'll
Or
be
wishing
seeing
them
you.
whatever festive season they're
Yep,
celebrating.
whatever you. Yep. You
Have a
know,
Merry
right?
Kwanzaa, kids.
yeah. Happy Hanukkah. You know, all that kind of craziness.
Festivus
You know, you
for
can
the rest of us.
lick rocks and bang them together. Whatever you want to do, Christmas Day that makes you happy, you do it.
If I'm gonna
Me,
lick
I like
something,
to drink
it's not gonna
and
be
then
a
sit
rock.
by myself in the nighttime and go like this. There's no one around. That's the best. Do you want to give me a Christmas present? You leave me alone from about 3 p.m. on Christmas
This
Day.
is my Christmas
and I go like
present.
this.
I love my tree.
Maybe Silent Night was written by someone who worked in retail. For too
Right?
long.
Just the silence.
And then on the Christmas day, they're just like,
Now, like,
Night.
with you guys coming over
One
next
last-
fall, like that to me would be fun. Like if you guys were all there for Christmas, that would be fun to me. I do love having a house full for
I
holidays.
do want to
think
have a
it's
white
magical.
Christmas one year, Jeffrey. I may take you up on that offer.
Yeah,
Well,
that would be
we
magical.
got a white Christmas here in New York.
I'll be kicking it
fix
out like,
now.
no. I was doing
Yeah,
my
Katie,
best
you're
Bing
missing
Crosby
it.
impression.
The boys and everybody are coming over next fall.
Yes,
Yes.
we're coming
We're
over.
just
for
functional
October.
though. You know
It's
they'll
gonna
be
be
So,
good
fine.
kids, buy a lot of mantra dreaming
my
on
God.
iTunes or whatever, so that Katie
Take
can
it out,
We
Katie.
wish you
Take
a
it
Merry
out.
Christmas. We wish
Thank
you
you,
a
ladies and
Merry
gentlemen, for
Christmas.
joining
We
us
wish
today
you a
on the
Merry
round
Christmas and
table.
happy
Have a Merry Christmas from our dysfunctional
New
family to yours.
Year.
Good luck.
Bye.